It says my product is in over 20 people's basket already. 1,700 views. 928 visits. 22 orders. 615 pounds in revenue. Hello everyone, today is the 16th of March, which means I'm just a bit over the end of my first month in this Etsy adventure. So it's time to do a bit of summary what I've done so far. In a nutshell, I have sharply 1,700 views, 928 visits, 22 orders, and I made 615 pounds in revenue. But let's see a bit more detailed stats of my financials. Let's set it to show all of this year. As I showed you in my previous video, I just set up this shop in early February when I started this challenge, so all this year means the past months. Funnily here it says only 585 pounds as total revenue, contrary to the 615 on the previous page. It's only my guess that the difference comes from US sales tax, as when I have customers from the USA, they need to pay a bit of extra as a tax on the top of my prices, and in some reason Etsy includes that into my income on the main dashboard page. However, as that money goes to Uncle Joe and not to my pocket, I think this 585 seems more accurate. Expenses were £131, which covers my in-app adverts, listing fees, transaction fees, and all the VAT that I need to pay on the top of these to this lady. So, in the first month, or precisely saying first 34 days since I published my listings, I made a whopping profit of £454 and 28 pence. Yeah! If I deduct the monthly subscription fee of the two software that I use for this project, £10.69 for Placeit and £25.91 for Vivideo, my net profit is £417 and 86 pence, which is around $580 US, and I think it's really not bad as a start. But how much did I work for this money? Well, as I said in the previous episode, I'm a cyclist courier and I was working all the way, cruising all around the streets of London, fighting the elements, the snow, the wind, and the frightening presence of Corona, delivering groceries to the doorstep of our beloved customers as one of those so-called key workers. And I also have another online project which I consider as my main mid-term goal, so I was focusing a lot on that too. By the way, very soon I will come up with videos about that idea on this channel too. This will be a little bit more high-ticket stuff. I think it will allow you to make somewhere between $100 and $200 a day. And just as this one, that will be very much doable for anyone. I still work on that concept, so it will give me a bit of time. But also check out my other videos, because you never know, maybe I already uploaded it or will do it very soon. It depends when you watch this. To cut the long story short, I was quite busy all the way, and this Etsy gig was definitely only a side hustle for me. Which means anyone can do it alongside a full-time job, as long as you don't mind sacrificing some of your spare time to make some extra money. Okay, less speak and more facts and numbers. Let's see the summary of my working hours. I spent a good 15 hours by setting up my shop, creating those 4 kits of templates that I sell, and making the listing photos and videos and everything that I need. I also spent some time promoting my services outside of Etsy, mainly answering comments under related YouTube videos, do some research on new YouTube channels, and contact a few of them via email. I will show you the results of these efforts in a minute. I haven't done too much of it. I did it twice a week and spent around an hour each time, so 10 hours in total. Above that, I only touched this project when I actually had an order to fulfill. As I was curious that how much is my hourly wage, I recorded the time that I spent with the orders. To fulfill my 22 orders took me 56 hours. At the time that I worked on setting up the shop plus some marketing, I worked a total of 81 hours in the past 5 weeks to make $580 US, which makes it a bit above $7 per hour, which is clearly not a dream wage, especially if you live in the UK or USA. But don't blame me, I told you at the beginning, it won't be a how to get rich quick video. However, I'm getting more experienced, hence significantly faster in fulfilling order. I can tell you I already feel the progress. Also, at the very beginning I pushed my prices down to get my first orders. I offered at least 25% discount for literally everyone, but in some cases I worked for half price. A bit later, when I had more sales and a couple of 5-star reviews, I switched off my special offer and I was still able to make sales on the full price. My next move is to raise my prices but switch on again a 25% discount code, still making my new rates a bit more higher than my full price is now. But I want to dive in more detailed into my stats and show you what did I learn, as I think we can all learn from it. I did a breakdown of my 22 orders. Where did they come from? I had 3 upsell when someone who purchased my full package also paid me to make a logo for them. Actually, it came from 2 customers, as one of them loved so much of my 2 logo ideas that she bought both of them. And I also had a returning customer who bought 2 different kits. The paid in-app ads on Etsy brought me 7 clients. By the way, I was promoting myself for $3 a day all the way. And sorry to constantly mixing up US dollars and pounds, but as you can see, even Etsy shows me the figures in pounds on one page and in dollars on another. Let's see the stats for the entire time. So I've spent $100 US and these ads generated $273 in sales. I can also track how many customers did I get from my little guerrilla campaign, as I always share the discount code in those emails and comments. It brought me 5 orders so far, and the rest came through the organic traffic of Etsy. However, you never know, it's still possible if some of them were related somehow to my paid ads or my off Etsy campaign. If I check my listings, you can also see that this pink one stands out. It has the most visits, most likes, and more importantly, the most sales. Out of my 22 sales, there were 3 logos. This yellow has been sold 3 times, this blue once, and all the rest were this pink. By the way, it doesn't surprise me at all that this pink, very girlish design nailed it, as some surveys say that over 80% of customers on Etsy are female. So it's also something that good to be in your mind if you are planning to start an Etsy business. I have 2.4% conversion rate. According to Google, it's about average, but I will take it. Here we can see where did my visitors come from. The organic in-app traffic is pretty big, that's nice. My paid ads brought me 280 visitors. Direct and other traffic brought me 70 visitors, which is pretty much my off Etsy campaign hunt for newbie YouTubers, emails and comments. So these are my financial stats after my first 34 days on Etsy, and I think I'm quite happy with them. But there is something else here which makes me even more hopeful and happy for the future. And also proud, so I do apologize upfront for the upcoming brag tsunami. Let me open an incognito page so they won't know that it's me. Without login, I search for YouTube. The top row shows paid ads, and here I am in the first non-paid row on place number 4. It says my product is in over 20 people's basket already. If I try to search for a bit more specific keyword, YouTube channel art, I'm in the very first position. And if I check back that video, I found YouTube channel art on Marmalade as the most important relevant keyword, so tried to target it with my titles, tags, and look, we are on the top of the results page for this keyword. Let me check out another keyword investigator software that is also specialized on Etsy. It's called eRank. Check the keyword YouTube channel art. I'm on the first page, first position. So after all of this, how should I continue? I think I should definitely create further kits, probably something very similar for that most successful pink one, girly one, because if I would have more products on those search results pages, that would definitely lead me to more sales. And I also think that to raise my prices at that time could be a good idea, but I should also switch on some discounted offer, which makes it more tempting. And as I'm getting more experienced and faster, hopefully my hourly income will also significantly increase. I will keep running this adventure as a side hustle, and I also want to show you step by step over the shoulder how do I fulfill an order and how long does it take me. And as the $1,000 net profit is almost on the horizon, I'm really excited trying to reach that milestone. But if you want to find out if I could do that or not, you will need to watch my next video. Until that, thanks for being here.